Hey guys, it's Benny and Amanda. We are at the ferry pools, kind of right in the middle. Just we're hiking up there with 100 million people, and we are.
100 million people and 5 dogs.
It's fine out here. We're still on the Isle of Skye, but we're headed out. This was kind of our last little activity on the Isle. We came in yesterday, drove around a bit, stayed at this beautiful little cottage on a loch Eyre or Eyre.
Jane Eyre.
Jane Eyre. I like Eyre. It's a little cottage. It was beautiful. And we woke up this morning and Amanda said, "You said there was going to be a view," and it was just all fog until right as we were about to leave, and the loch came out. We went and saw Dunvegan.
It's spelled like Dunvegan.
Yeah, I'm Dunvegan.
That's when you switch back from me.
It is like the almost 1,000-year-old home of the McLeod clan here in Scotland, and has been continuously lived in. So is another lived-in castle. Really beautiful, incredibly wonderful, majestic gardens. It really was with its own waterfalls, and they do little seal tours, a little island of like a seal colony, and just had this really great view across from the castle. And then we went and saw, how do you pronounce that stone? You might have to look that up.
It's a standing stone.
It's a standing stone that was put by the Vikings, or the first settlers in the area, and overlooking just an incredible view, a lot like what we're looking at here. But yeah, we're in the middle of the day, but we thought we should do a video from where we are, because it's fine. That's what I've been saying every time I drive through here. It's fine. But we got a long drive today, so maybe some more eventful stuff will happen. We're going to end up at the Kelpies in Falkirk tonight, so maybe we'll give you an update on tomorrow's video. It was a short one. Oh well. Bye guys. Hey guys, this is part 2 of our video for today. We did talk to you a little bit from the ferry pools, and told you a little bit about what we've been up to at Dunvegan and Ebreggered, or the Standing Stone. That's how it's pronounced for sure. But the rest of our day, so we left. That was quite a hike. When we were talking in that video, I just dunked my head in one of the pools, and on the way back, I feel like the entire thing is uphill. So it was quite a hike back, and then a drive out of there. It's like one lane the whole way, and there's just little passing areas. It was very good practice for the
rest of your day.
That's so true. We left the ferry pools. We drove behind 1 trillion cars, give or take 1 car. You found that cute little cafe/coffee shop called the Noost, and it's right where there's a ferry that takes off, kind of your last exit on the Isle of Skye before you hit the Skye Bridge. And
it was great.
It was really wonderful.
On the shore,
there's a guy literally rowing his little boat up right as we sat down.
So we got a couple sandwiches and got to sit and have a coffee,
and it was kind of a nice way to say goodbye to the Isle of Skye.
Ben thinks he's on a different show.
Shadow's marvelous. So we left Isle of Skye. We went. I kind of had grand plans about where we were gonna go or what we're gonna do. I just knew it was a very, very long drive because we had spent the time hiking to the ferry pools, which took more time.
Ferry pools were going to be 2 miles total, front and back, and it was actually closer to
5 total. Yeah, I even thought it was less than that. When I looked at the map, I was like, oh well, it's that much on the map.
And we didn't even do the whole hike. And we did.
As far as we know, we asked these 2 Scottish folks. We were like,
I think we did 7/8 of it, but
yeah. It was like, was there an end? And he's like, we didn't find it. And he was like, I think it's under the mountain. And I was like, you're probably right. And so we turned our butts around. And we're like, all right, we're not going to find the end of it. If they didn't find it, we're not going to find it. So anyway, I mean, we did the 5 miles for sure. But anyway, we headed back. Back into kind of across. We ended up in Falkirk tonight, so it's almost all the way back to Edinburgh. And what did we go right to dinner then? No, we went to Eilean Donnan. I don't think they self-proclaimed it. I think it's definitely if not one of the most beautiful castles in Scotland.
It's I mean, they're all very picturesque in their own way, but this one,
it's on an island. On an island. And literally, when they built it, it was an island. And so it was not quite all the way, but reduced to ruins in 1719, when there were some Spanish soldiers that were working or living in the castle, operating in the castle.
On behalf of the
Jacobites. And they were just bombarded by two big ships, 48-gun and 40-gun ships from the British government. And then when they kind of cleared out the castle, they left some powder kegs in it and then just blew up the remaining powder kegs to blow up the castle. And it remained in ruins for, over 200 years.
Mm-hmm.
Until some folks decided to buy it, refurbish it, and they did. You would never know. If you hadn't told me, I would have been like, oh, that's what that castle looked like. But they built a bridge out to it, and they turned it into a really picturesque, beautiful thing to visit.
I think it's important to kind of note that most of the castles that we're seeing have been renovated in some way. If not, and usually not just up to code, it's more nearly rebuilt. A lot of them have basically been destroyed. Yeah,
they're trying to stick to, a lot of them often use the same materials and try to use same techniques. They're not trying to build for OSHA. They're really trying to reconstruct it how it looked at the time.
Or to take it from essentially rubble. A lot of these places, it's not just we're giving it a fresh coat of paint. No, they're really rebuilding them entirely.
Mm-hmm.
This morning we were at Dunvegan?
Yeah.
Sorry, all my days are running together. So that's kind of the historical seat of the McLeod clan, and then Eilean Donnan is kind of the seat of the McRae family clan. So it was cool to kind of see their own family collection of objects and treasures.
It was really well done. We discussed it. It said even the what was shown inside the castle was done really well, and both of the castles this morning had no photography on the inside. So it's a great way to preserve the clan and its legacy and the items that are contained within it, and keep it very personal and private, yet still allow people to go through.
Mm-hmm, to interact with it. Yeah.
And they were both really done well today.
Mm-hmm.
And both in really beautiful spots, for different reasons. But
today Ben was shooting a video of the outside of Eilean Donnan and chose to supplement the footage with his own improvised song. And
how'd it go?
I have no idea. Oh. But as he was panning, there was a woman who was having her husband or boyfriend take a picture of her, and he finished the job of taking a picture of her, and she was halfway making her way down the hill and got so distracted by Ben's song that she just biffed it. And if that's not rock and roll, I don't know what is.
Listen, I'm an entertainer, and if people can't take their eyes off of my performance...
Was really obnoxious? Did I include that part?
Did you have to?
Because it wasn't
people know. They've heard my music before.
Star Spangled Banner. It was more
Roop doop doop dee doo.
Yeah, it was closer to that.
Yeah, somewhere between those two.
Mm-hmm.
But then Amanda found us. We had driven through Fort William. We saw that it was really cute. It was on my list of kind of places. I had a list of a handful of towns we were supposed to see, or villages. And so she found us a restaurant to go to on this cool little cobblestone street.
In our hearts, sometime while we're here, we want to try traditional Scottish fare. We want to try haggis. We want to try black pudding.
And tatties.
That's just potatoes. potatoes.
I know,
You
but
know, you've tried potatoes.
I've had them before. Not in Scotland.
But every time so when we like seek out restaurants, we'll like look to see if that's on the menu, check reviews to see if it's like authentic or whatever that means. And then when we pull up and both of us are so hungry because all we've done is climb, you know, the Wallace Monument or like hike to the fairy pools. And we're so hungry, we're like, I don't want to like risk it if I don't like it. We just want to try it as a novelty.
Or maybe we fall in love with it and then we've made a mistake.
I'm sure we'll love it because what's so different from the ingredients of haggis as compared to a hot dog?
Well, like, you know what? People used to ask that question about like Malort in Chicago, but it's not good. So like you can have a thing that becomes part of your like, let's call it culture. I don't know. Be part of your like what makes you Chicago or Scotland or you know like whatever. And but it doesn't have to taste good.
I'm sure it's delicious. But anyway,
I'll take the corned beef.
We chose that restaurant because they had it, and then we both got cheeseburgers instead because we were starving.
But what I said is I would really love to, I want to try, there's like they had a whole traditional plate, you know. I want to try that like at lunch when we can just like pick, you know, like have little small plates or little appies where we can try it out. Not, this is it. This is our meal because I have to drive for 8 hours in the middle of the night and I'm going to rely on this haggis to keep me replenished. Not replenished, just plenished. Fed. Not hunger-rated. Sustained. So we didn't do it. But we are going to. We still have a week. We're going to make it happen. Then after dinner was over, I looked and I was like, oh, I still have a long freaking way to drive. And as we're leaving Fort William, there's just they're starting road work. So we sat there for 40 minutes or so.
Almost an hour.
So our goal was
like a huge like backlog of cars that need to kind of get through this road work. So lots of people, you know, single lane, twisty, topsy-turvy,
yeah,
pothole ridden.
Now, take it easy.
It's true. That's why they were doing
it. Was a rough road. It was a rough road. But a lot of it, like several hours. And so the main goal was we wanted to go stay in Falkirk so we could see the Kelpies, which are these metallic, the physical art that's here in Falkirk are these metallic giant, I want to say there's 5 to 6 stories high, probably several hundred feet, sculptures that like change colors and light up at night from the inside.
2 horse heads. So
yeah.
Kelpies were like mythological creatures that when they chose, they were fairies, right?
I can't remember exactly what they're like.
Some kind of like water spirit that
but they would look like horses and people would ride them, but then they would take them into the sea. And
yeah, if you hopped on a Kelpie's back, they would take you into the sea.
Take you under. Mm-hmm. So it's like I was about to say cool myth, but kind of a bummer myth. But these are these beautiful horse heads and they're all surrounded by water that you can actually swim in. I saw like a little ladder down in and I was like, that's a weird myth to go swim on it. Or maybe it's the ladder so you can get out if you fall in.
Yeah, if you accidentally hop on a Kelpie's back, there's a ladder so you can get out.
You might have to use that ladder. Or later. So anyway, that was the whole goal. So we definitely got there at night. Midnight?
We got there at like 11:55, and like the road to drive to the Kelpies was closed, but the walkway was open, so we just found the nearest parking lot and walked.
And that was it.
Late at night. But
it was beautiful.
We weren't the only tourists doing that. There were a couple, but it was kind of nice to see the attraction mostly
empty. Yeah.
We took some really beautiful night photos of the Kelpies all lit up.
Anyway, and we're staying at a cute little Airbnb that I found in Carron, which is like just outside Falkirk. And tomorrow we're back in Edinburgh for a little bit before we head up in the evening to Aberdeen, where we are for a couple days, including a show, which will kick off the last few shows here in Scotland. So we'll let you know how that goes.
Right.
See you guys. Bye. Kelpie. Bye.
Again, we're not on the list.
Shout out to Marla second time. Bye.